No, I don't believe we're leaving the flood zone.
I do not believe so, but I'm not sure.
I doubt I live in a flood zone, but I'm not sure. I might live in a flood zone.
Historically, flooding has been the most damaging natural hazard for the state of Georgia, causing millions of dollars in damages to personal property, businesses, infrastructure, agriculture, and even causing loss of life. Flooding is often the result of intense storm events dropping large amounts of rain in a short time period. Because of Georgia's unique geography, severe rainfall events can come from inland weather patterns or coastal atmospheric conditions. Inland storms can cause streams to swell out of their banks and into adjacent areas that are normally dry. While storm systems may affect large regions, rainfall amounts and flooding can vary from one community to the next. In September 2009, inland weather patterns caused severe flooding in the Atlanta metro area.
It was an epic proportion flood. It was an entrainment effect where you had one cell followed by another cell, followed by another cell. And they followed along the same path, just like spokes in a wheel. And if you happen to be in that path where one storm was following the other, you received the high rainfall amounts. The eastern parts of the county didn't receive that much rainfall at all. They received up to the 25-year frequency amounts, but it didn't compare with what was happening on the south and the west and the northern parts of the county. We're standing in Legion's Park right now, which is actually in the city of Austell. It's a city in Cobb County. Right behind us is Sweetwater Creek. This area actually sustained about over 20 feet of flooding during the September 21st, 2009 flood. Well, it was total disbelief because the flood levels were actually from 12 to 14 feet higher than the 100-year floodplain elevations. And many people who were substantially damaged or whose homes were totally destroyed were completely outside of the floodplain. And those people did not know that they were susceptible, their homes were susceptible to flooding. As FEMA says, we all live in the floodplain. It's just a matter of how deep the water gets before your house will get flooded.
Inland weather patterns are not the only contributor of flooding in Georgia. Coastal weather conditions, such as hurricanes and tropical storms, can bring damaging storm surge to coastal areas. These storms can also move far into Georgia's interior, causing severe inland flooding. In 1994, Tropical Storm Alberto became Georgia's costliest storm on record, causing nearly $1 billion in damage. Although it didn't make landfall on Georgia's coast, it caused flooding throughout much of southern Georgia, reaching as far inland as the Atlanta metro area. It's important to know your flood risk, and it's easy to find out. Visit georgiadfirm.com. Type your address into the Find Your Flood Risk tool on the website's homepage. Click Find. Verify your address in the search results to the right. Then click OK to create a personalized flood risk snapshot.
It's a very easy, simple way for anyone in Georgia. Take a look at the web page and find out what is your risk. How close am I to that special flood hazard boundary? How vulnerable am I? Now we have digital orthographic photography, so we can actually see a structure. We can see the critical facilities. We can see where the fire stations are. We can see each thing because of the imagery is so crisp and so clear.
Another valuable resource on the Georgia Flood Map website is the Cost of Flooding tool,
where you can go in, plug in the size, square footage of your home, and then we have a gauge that you can see if we have 6 inches of water, if we have a foot of water, how much is that going to cost? And if you start thinking about what's in the lower portion of your home, what's going to be affected, the floors, the water heater, the different appliances that are going to be damaged, the sheetrock, the electrical, all of this adds up very, very quickly, and we itemize those items in a cost-effective way so a homeowner can immediately see what is the value of flood insurance.
Most homeowners' insurance policies do not cover flood-related damages, which is why flood insurance policies are so important. There are several ways that you can protect yourself and your valuables before a hazardous flood event. The best course of action is to prepare before the storm. Safeguard your possessions. Get flood insurance. Everyone is exposed to some level of risk to flooding, whether you're in a high, moderate, or low-risk flood area. Keep copies of your flood insurance policy and other critical documents. Keep a household inventory. Prepare your house. Make sure your sump pump is working and install a battery-operated backup. Clear gutters and downspouts. Anchor fuel tanks. Elevate your utilities. Move furniture, valuables, and important documents to a safe place. Develop a family emergency plan. Create a safety kit with first aid, flashlight, blankets, drinking water, canned food, and a weather radio. Keep a list of emergency telephone numbers. Plan and practice a flood evacuation route with your family. Know the safe routes with higher ground. Ask an out-of-state relative or friend to be your emergency contact. Have a plan to protect your pets.